Assalamu alaikum students. So I am Adnan Hossain, lecturer in English, Dhaka College, and today I am before you again with our ongoing topic narration. So in the last class we were discussing about passage narration, and today we are also going to discuss about passage narration. And let's have some look on some more items like this one. The headmaster said to the education officer, I don't have any assistant teacher. I don't have proper infrastructural facility. The officer said, okay, I will see. Now, this will be like at first, the headmaster is telling, the headmaster is complaining. So we can say, the headmaster told or complained to. If somebody wants to make the passage more attractive, then he may say complain to the education officer. That's enough. The headmaster told the education officer that he didn't have any assistant teacher. Now, as per the rule, you can say that he added that he added that he didn't have proper infrastructural facility. But what you can say, all right, that is if we combine these two sentences. The headmaster told or complained to the education officer that he didn't have any assistant teacher. He didn't have any assistant teacher and proper infrastructural facility. That is, if you add the two sentences with a connector and it's okay in the case of converting narration, transforming narration. Now the officer is saying, okay, I will see. You can say just the officer as he is saying okay. So it is an affirmative expression. In case of okay or yes, the officer replied in the affirmative and said that he would see that or see it. Now, often in some cases we may use, instead of said, assured, as the officer is assuring. But if you can't remember such words, that is no problem. You may just say that, said that he would see it. So what have we learned from this particular passage? We have learned that we will add the sentences with and or as well as, or not as well as, of course. We may add the sentences with and if those are parallel to each other. For example, here we find that a case of parallelism. The headmaster is complaining about the lacking of facilities in his school. So both the sentences, they are ultimately in the same structure and speaking about almost the same topic. So we can add the sentences, combine those sentences, join those sentences. And when somebody is saying, okay, yes, we are saying he or she replied in the affirmative. If the case is the opposite, like no, then we may say that replied in the negative. So let's proceed. The tax collector said to the farmer, "You must give more money. The king has raised the tax." The farmer said, "But I don't have enough." He stops here with the adjective, that is enough. The traveler was watching and said, "Sad." Now here, the tax collector it is a kind of order, but you can say the tax collector told the farmer. If somebody use order, there is no problem. The tax collector told the farmer that he had to give more money. Instead of must, we are using had to. He had to give more money. The king has raised the tax. He added that the king had raised the tax. The farmer said, "But I don't have enough." Here there are two problems. That is, the sentence starts with "but," and here the sentence ends with an adjective. What will we do then? Raise the tax. The farmer replied that he didn't have enough money. The question is from where we have brought this word money. First of all, it is money about which we are talking. Secondly, when we are transforming something into indirect narration, we need an object. Now, water. Now, when we are saying that we don't have enough, now from where we will get the object? The object we will get from the very particular sentence by which the passage starts. That is, in the very particular sentence we get the topic, the object, that is the farmer and the tax collector, they are actually speaking about money. Now, the farmer is obviously, as the tax collector was asking for money, the farmer is obviously speaking about money. He didn't have enough money. So the farmer just replied that he didn't have enough money. The question is, from where have we vanished the but? This but we need not use in case of indirect narration when something is being used with a particular character, like again, also, but. We don't need to repeat those things. Or if those are the part of a single speech of a single person, then we may add them, that we are going to see in a different passage, but we don't need to use these buts or again or also these types of connectors when we are converting it into indirect narration. The farmer replied that he didn't have enough money. The traveler was watching, and here there is a note of exclamation. So the traveler was watching and exclaimed with sorrow that it was very sad. So when we are transforming the indirect narration, direct narration from the indirect one, ultimately what we have to do is we are using the full sentence. Although in the direct form there may be not the full sentence being used, there may be only very short sentences, but when we are converting them into indirect narration, we have to use the full sentence. The writer said to the reader, "Have you read my last novel?" The writer, and do you understand it? The writer asked the reader if he had read his last novel. As these are two questions consecutively, so what we are going to do is, and added if he understood it. The reader said, "Oh, sure, it is a nice one." The reader replied in the affirmative that it was a nice one. Replied in the affirmative and said that. And said that. That it was a nice one. The villain was very powerful. It will be just like he added that the villain was very powerful. The writer said that it was just the opposite. Now, we have used a word well. In such cases, when there is the expressioning words like well, fine. In case of fine, we may say that he said that it was fine, but in case of well or okay, in case of okay, we may say he replied in the affirmative, but here we don't need to use or elaborate the use of well. We may just avoid it, and the writer said that it was just the opposite. You may ask why I am avoiding the expressions like well, fine. Now, fine can be used, that it was fine. But here we are avoiding well because just we want to make it more natural. Just think that if we need to convert everything in the indirect, ultimately the conversation will not seem very natural. And that is the reason why we have made it like more natural, and we are avoiding some fillers like well, aha. These things will be avoided. So let's continue. The man said to his son, "You are wasting your time, you must change this habit." Fine. The man told his son that he was wasting his time. He added that he had to change that habit. The son, he is saying, okay, done. The son replied in the affirmative and said that it would be done. And said that it would be done. So when I am saying something in the very short form, that is done, did it, it will be transformed in a full sentence when I am transforming the direct narration into the indirect form. So it will be like said that it would be done. Because the son is meaning that he will do it as the father is saying in future. So he would do it in the future. That's why I am saying that the son said that it would be done. Okay, students, that's enough for today. Inshallah, we are going to meet in the next class in the next week. Allah Hafiz.